This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
And welcome to the program. I'm Roby Brock. As always, we appreciate you joining us for this edition of Talk Business and Politics Daily. Yesterday, the governor's 144-page Learns Education Reform Plan dropped. It is out there for public consumption now. Senator Breanne Davis, Republican of Russellville, who's on the Senate Education Committee and is the primary sponsor of that bill in the Senate, now joins us to discuss. Welcome, Senator. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I guess my first question is, what took you so long? I mean, come on, 7 weeks. What's up? What's up with that?
It's only 144 pages. We've been doing a lot of work on it and getting all the edits just right.
All right, 7 weeks to draft this bill, mostly in private sessions. I mean, there's not been any public hearings to kind of ask for input on a lot of that. So you guys built this with a lot of different stakeholders in the groups there. I will let you tell me how much of that. But one day for the public to really see this before it's going to run in committee, should there be some more time for people to consume this, if for nothing else, just to make sure that some questions are answered that might have some unintended consequences?
So this bill, we've been working with stakeholders for actually months on this bill, getting feedback from all different people. And honestly, the meat of this bill has been out for weeks and weeks now. Nothing in this bill is a secret. The details of the governor's plan have been all over. She's done press conferences, released talking points, given all the details of the plans in the bill. And honestly, I've gotten a lot of emails from teachers since last night that say they've already read the entire bill and were giving me feedback on it. So I know it's something, leading up, we've been getting information on it and people are able to still read through by Wednesday.
What kind of feedback have you been getting from teachers specifically? What have they told you about it? Anything that you think needs to be modified or changed?
Here's the thing, like a lot of it is just concern over the salary schedule. And I think just clarifying and letting teachers know they're not going to be capped out at $50,000 for the rest of their career. That's not what that is at all. But I think there's just some misunderstanding based on groups that have put out information, misleading teachers. And so once we're able to clarify and say, no, you're not capped out, but we've got to do something to address the teacher shortage, which includes raising the minimum teacher pay and then giving every other teacher a $2,000 raise, letting them know that the salary schedules are up to the individual districts and they'll continue getting adequacy funding so they can create their own step schedule for whatever best fits that local community and that local school district.
Is there a possibility when there is this, what I would anticipate will be a day long of hearing on Wednesday? I can't imagine you're going to get it all done in like an hour and a half window on Wednesday morning, but maybe you will, maybe you won't. You can give me some insight there on that. Do you anticipate amending the bill if something is brought to your attention that you're like, we didn't address that or think about that? That needs to be considered.
Yeah, throughout this whole process, we've been very open and transparent, working with other members. We've been working with leadership groups and education committee groups for well over a month now, taking feedback, taking comments and edits from members. And so certainly, with a bill that size and 135 legislative members, there's going to be something to amend. And so we are going to be working through all the comments and feedback we get and see what we end up putting in.
Just out of curiosity, because I know the Arkansas Education Association, which represents many teachers in the state of Arkansas, has said that they have not been involved in this process. What were the teacher groups that you worked with, if you can share that with me?
Yeah, we've worked with lots of individual teachers getting feedback and different groups of teachers. I know I personally reached out to AEA back in December and asked for their feedback, and I said they would run a poll and get feedback from their teachers. I did not hear back from AEA specifically, but that wasn't the only teacher group we were counting on hearing from. So we've worked, like I said, for months now with teachers, teacher groups, administrative groups, parents, just getting feedback from all different directions to incorporate into this bill.
Last question before we got to take a commercial break here. There's nothing in the LEARN's plan, at least that I read, unless I overlooked it, that it deals with non-teacher employee pay. This is something that the Democrats tried to run last week, a $4 an hour increase. It was asked to not be, it was tabled basically because it was going to be part of the LEARN's plan. Did I overlook that in there, or is this coming somewhat separately? Where is that?
No, I didn't state that very clearly in committee last week. So that is going to be in foundation funding. You'll see increases because we'll accept some of the adequacy recommendations, and that will include funding for classified staff. And so that's going to be in an appropriation down the road. But certainly, as always, school districts and superintendents and school boards will make that decision on what they choose to give raises for as far as classified employees go, but they are certainly going to be given the funding to be able to give those raises if they so choose.
Okay, let's take a quick commercial break and we'll come back. I got a couple more questions for you. Thank you for your time. You're gracious to give us this. I know it's a busy time for you. We're with Senator Breanne Davis. We'll be back right after this break.
Talk Business and Politics Daily is brought to you by Wright Lindsay Jennings Law Firm, Impact Management Group, and these sponsors.
We proudly deliver reliable, affordable, responsible power across Arkansas. But demand for electricity is strained by the elimination of sources we need for always-on reliability. And adding intermittents like wind and solar cannot replace workhorses like coal and natural gas that we all count on. Power must be balanced for your needs and our mission. Reliable, affordable, responsible. We're the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas.
Connection. It's the heart of what we do. It's why we work to better the communities where we live and work. It's why we're expanding to get people connected and create digital equity programs that support affordable internet and digital literacy. We're leaders for positive change. From the way we empower our people, clients, and communities to the way we care for our planet. We live our values every day. We're Cox Communications, and we're pleased to connect with you.
Together we can create an Arkansas that places children and families at the very top of the agenda.
We can create the type of Arkansas that we have always imagined.
Arkansas Advocates as an organization is the glue that can put all those families' voices together.
And welcome back. We're with Senator Breanne Davis, Republican of Russellville. She's the lead sponsor on Senate Bill 294. It is the governor's LEARN's education reform package. Senator, I have not seen a price tag yet for a fiscal impact on how much all of this is. I know it's in the works. When could we anticipate seeing what year 1, 2, and maybe 3 holds in terms of its potential to adjust the budget?
Yeah, well, for sure, we're going to have it tomorrow in committee, and we're just waiting on that final fiscal impact statement. And so we know the numbers. We're just making sure everything's ready to go for committee tomorrow. But we anticipate in the first year, it'll be about $300 million, with 150 of that being in new spending. And so we're using a mixture of funds to be able to pay for that. And we've got a detailed plan over the years to be able to ensure we pay for it going forward.
Going to give me a hint what year 2 may hold? I think it'll be more than 300 million. What do you think?
Yeah, it is a little bit more, and I don't want to say a number just because the numbers have changed, $10 million here, $10 million there. And so, but it will be a little bit more, but we've got funds to be able to pay for that. We know exactly where they're coming from. And so we feel very confident in our ability to pay for year 2.
All right. Let's talk about a couple of the controversial portions of the bill that you're going to hear from, I'm sure, in testimony. One is the not being able to talk about sexual orientation and gender identity until the 6th grade. I think it's 5th grade and below. Mm-hmm. What happens when little Johnny shows up to 1st grade with a mom and dad, and little Billy shows up to 1st grade with a mom and a mom? How's that going to be addressed, I guess, is my question.
Yeah, well, I think the point is that we're not going to be teaching it, having it in curriculum, teaching it in class. Certainly want every kid to feel valued and loved and safe in the classroom. Teachers are already doing a great job of that. We just want to make sure that we put this protection in there. And I think that's language we'll continue to work through with members to make sure we have it just right.
So it's basically to stop instruction on that stuff. It's not necessarily to stop any type of conversation happening about that. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Right. Yeah. Trying to police the kids' comments. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Another will be the Fair Teacher Dismissal Act. Basically, this is stricken from the code when you read through it right there. I expect that there will be pushback from teachers on that. I am seeing plenty of teachers pushing back on that online and on social media. Have you heard from some of those teachers? Do they have, I guess, do their arguments have some merit? And have you heard from teachers on the other side of the fence that are okay with that?
Yeah, I think like good teachers aren't concerned and shouldn't be concerned. I understand the initial reaction and just the fear of what exactly that means. Are they still entitled due process? And the point is that, I mean, teachers are still going to have due process. You can't just go in and fire without cause. And so we just know that it is extremely hard. As serving on this Russellville School Board for 9 years, it's extremely, extremely hard to get rid of teachers that shouldn't be in the classroom. And really, that's what this is aimed at. We're shooting to keep good teachers in the classroom and let the other ones find a different profession that shouldn't be in the classroom. And this will allow us to do so.
All right. Lastly, you guys have rules in place this has been a conversation that has been out there for a couple of weeks now to not deal with omnibus bills, to deal with single subject matters when you do that. This is a bill that encompasses many different subjects in education. Do you think this is going to require a suspension of the rules to consider this, or do you think that you're within the limits of what your rules allow on this?
I definitely think we're within the limit. I mean, it's dealing with kids pre-K all the way through 12th grade and the education that they receive, the money that follows kids through school. And so this is comprehensive, and we're saying it's comprehensive education reform for a reason. There's no way to divide it out and do one thing at a time. We've got to do it all together when you're talking about meaningful, comprehensive reform. And I think all of the subjects that we deal with within the bill easily fit under the guide of pre-K through 12th grade. And so it's one subject. We're dealing with kids the entire time they're in our school system and ensuring that they receive an excellent education.
All right. I know you're busy today. I know you'll be even busier tomorrow. For our viewers who are watching, I'll actually have Secretary Oliva on the show tomorrow afternoon. So we'll get a little bit of perspective on what has been testified to over the course of the day. Senator Breanne Davis, thank you so much. We appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us and spending some time with us today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. We're back with more right after this.
Talk Business and Politics Daily is brought to you by Wright Lindsay Jennings Law Firm, Capital Advisors Group, and these sponsors.
One of the things that I really liked about UAMS College of Health Professions is that they set me up for success. I chose UAMS because I felt like it was a great place to work. My grandmother was diagnosed at UAMS for multiple myeloma, and I felt like it would be a great way to pay back the place that helped my grandmother so much. And that's why I went in the healthcare field in the first place, is to help someone just like they've helped my grandmother.
For your education and healthcare needs, choose UAMS.
This is what we work for. The moments you live for. The joy. The heart. The wonder. At Entergy, we're dedicated to powering each moment. Today and for future generations. So we're leading the way with a cleaner, more reliable power grid to power every day. Because these moments matter. We power life. Entergy.
Well, that's all for today's Talk Business and Politics Daily. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Roby Brock. Tomorrow we'll have Secretary of Education Jacob Oliva on the program, so be sure and tune in. Thanks.